What's up, y'all? It's Tracy Kristen. It's been a while, but we're back and we are definitely better. We're in a brand new set. So I have more space to create these delicious, healthy recipes for you guys. On today's menu, we have boneless pan-seared pork chops and my all-time favorite, garlic mashed potatoes. So get ready because we're about to go in. Oh, wait. But before we do, go ahead and grab you one of these Slay Honey shirts. Okay, honey? Now let's get started. All right, y'all. So for the pork chops, we're going to be using black pepper, unsweetened ketchup, and Worcestershire sauce. And for the mashed potatoes, we're going to be using black pepper, garlic salt, 100% grass-fed butter, unsweetened almond milk, and Greek yogurt. So my water is already boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and drop my potatoes in, and then I'm going to start marinating the meat. Okay, I'm gonna set my timer for 15 minutes, and I'm just gonna check on these periodically because you just want them to cook until they're tender. So it may be a little bit more than 15 minutes, maybe a little bit less, but let's just start there. That's a good starting point. Okay, so for the meat, the first thing I'm gonna do is poke a few holes into each pork chop. And this just helps with the marinating process. So a little bit of black pepper on each side. And you can just do this to taste. Like, as you can see, I'm not really measuring this out. And really, you can add any seasonings that you want to. I do want to encourage you to monitor your sodium, but I mean, otherwise, whatever whatever your preference is, go for it. All right. So the next thing I'm gonna do is take the unsweetened ketchup, and I'm going to use just a spoonful on each side. A tablespoon is actually one serving, but I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So you just want to fully coat each side, and then we'll go in with the Worcestershire sauce. All right. So what I love about this meal is it really doesn't take long at all. Like when you come home from work and you're tired and you really ain't feeling it, I mean, you only need about 20 minutes. And that's all it takes. So this is perfect for when you don't have anything prepped. You want something that's gonna be delicious and quick. So next thing I'm gonna do is go in with the Worcestershire sauce. This does have sodium in it, so I want you to be mindful of how much you're using. I believe one serving is a teaspoon, so I mean, I'll use my measuring spoon just to kind of start there, but we may need a little bit more than a teaspoon, maybe. Actually, we probably don't. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna get another serving. Okay. But as you can see, I'm being really, really careful because I don't want these to be too salty. Because believe it or not, the sodium content is something that really does play a role in your nutrition when it comes to I guess trying to attain a certain physique. Like a lot of people may not pay attention to sodium. It's often overlooked, but that's what leaves you looking, bloated, holding on to water, and just giving you that soft look that you may not want. So that's why I always, encourage my clients to be mindful of how much sodium that they're consuming. Which is also why we're not putting salt on the pork chops, because the Worcestershire sauce does have sodium in it. Okay, so these look pretty good to me. I'm gonna let them set for just a little bit while the skillet warms up, and then we'll start cooking. They don't take long at all, about 4 minutes on each side. And while, well, maybe not, we'll see. All right, so now I'm gonna go over to the skillet and turn it on, and I'm gonna use a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm gonna go in with spray just to make sure the pan is fully coated. So I'm just drizzling a little bit, and I am gonna move it around, but it may not be, I may need a little bit more. So just to fill in those gaps, I'm gonna use the spray. A lot of spray. All right, so now we're gonna let this warm up. All right, and while that's warming up, I'm gonna go ahead and check on my potatoes. They've only been on for about 4 minutes, and yeah, they're still hard as a brick, so they're nowhere near done. I'm actually gonna turn my stove up just a little bit, so it's basically like on high, almost like just underneath high. Okay guys, so my skillet is warm now, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop the pork chops on. And like I said, this doesn't take long at all. So we're just gonna cook the chops for 4 minutes on each side. These are just about done. I'm moving them around to make sure that they don't stick to the pan. If you're not sure about the doneness, then make sure you grab yourself a meat thermometer. I personally will be using one once I take these off, just to make sure that these are completely done. The internal temp should be about 145 to 150 degrees. That's how you'll know they're cooked all the way through. The pork chops are done, and so are the potatoes. So now we are about to go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients in. Actually, let me drain these a little bit, or a lot of it. Right. Okay, so like I said earlier, I love mashed potatoes, y'all. And these are so good. So good. They're restaurant quality. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first is, let me grab my fork. And your potatoes should be so like tender that they're basically falling apart. Okay, so I'm just gonna actually have to scoop these in here because they're breaking apart, like when I try to stick my fork into them. Okay. All right, so now the first thing I'm gonna do is I am going to add in the sour cream. Now, not sour cream, y'all. The Greek yogurt. So this is actually just one of those little 5.3 ounce containers, and I may not need the whole thing, but I went ahead and put it all here just in case. So I'm just gonna scoop out probably half, maybe a little bit more than half, and then I'm gonna start blending this in with the potatoes, and then I'll just add more as I need it. Okay, so see how, I don't know what that was. So see how easy these are breaking apart? So you wanna make sure you cook yours to the same doneness. Okay, so now I'm gonna add in, and this is just a little bit more than a full cup of unsweetened almond milk. I'm gonna add in just a little bit. Okay, We may need more, but we'll see. No, I think that might have been good. So all these things I'm doing are personal preference. If you like your potatoes a little thicker, then you just will use less milk and less Greek yogurt. But if you like them, you know, more, I don't know, the consistency, creamy, then you'll add in more of the additional ingredients. So I personally like mine really creamy, and so they are looking so bomb. All right, so now I'm gonna go in with my garlic salt, and I'm gonna use just a pinch or two or three. Okay. So this is also done to taste. So I will taste these to make sure that it's enough salt. And if not, I'll add just a little bit more. Because I want them to have that, like, I don't want to go overboard with the salt, but I do want them to have like that garlicky taste, and that's why I'm using this garlic salt. And you could probably substitute for actual garlic, but I don't have that, so I'm just using the salt. Okay, so now I am going to, I done put my spoon up, y'all. Let me get another spoon. Okay, so this is 100% grass-fed butter, so it's a little bit less calories, fat, sodium than, like, you know, normal butter. So 1 tablespoon is a serving, and as you can see, I did not measure that. I just scooped it in. But like I said, just eyeball it, do it to preference, but don't go overboard. Like if you have trouble you know, guesstimating, then you will want to make sure you're using your measuring spoons. But what I did was probably 1 to 2 tablespoons. And of course, it will also depend on your portion size. So this is probably, so I actually use about I use 4 small to medium sized potatoes. So this will probably be about 4 servings. Maybe even 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and taste this, y'all. I don't have company, it's just me and my mans in here. So this is okay. I'm gonna add just a little bit more salt. So like I said, you're doing this to taste. Okay, so a little more salt and just a little, this much more butter. Okay. So that taste was pretty good. So I'm not gonna taste it again. I'm sure that this is plenty. Okay, so y'all see how easy that was? Literally took no time at all. And this is such a good meal, and it's so filling. And like really, this is one of my go-tos. I love, love, love mashed potatoes. And so does my husband. So it's a hit around here. All right, so these look pretty good to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and plate everything now. So I already have the pork chops off. And I have a little rosemary for garnish because I'm trying to get fancy. So I'm gonna go ahead and just split this apart and put a little on each plate. All right. Okay, so the pork chops are on, and all I have to do now is add the mashed potatoes. All right, so I'm just gonna take a spoonful, a humongous spoonful. No, I'm just kidding. Or am I? All right. Just a little bit more. All right. So, this is it, y'all. What do y'all think? Doesn't it look delicious? So easy and so good, y'all, I promise. All right, y'all, that's it for today. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Remember to always be mindful of your seasonings and your marinades when you're preparing your meals. A little really does go a long way. I hope you give this one a try. It's bomb. It's one of my personal favorites. Leave me a comment and let me know how you like it. Also, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss a single recipe. I'll talk to you guys later.